difficult, isn't it, really, when you're trying to modernise the monarchy? We've seen this in the very first year of His Majesty the King, King Charles III. You see, he really is trying to move away from, of course, what his late mother, our wonderful monarch of 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II, did. She was from a totally different generation, and really her sort of, shall we say, aloofness, for want of a better word, was part of the appeal, wasn't it? It was a mystique, you know, we didn't know really that much about her, and the only time we really ever heard her got to speak was either at a traditional Christmas speech or indeed one of those big speeches like she gave during the height of the pandemic, and then little snatches at the Royal Variety Show and stuff like that. But of course, it's all changed now. It's a totally different remit. Of course, the bigger problem now is how do senior members of the British monarchy work through to make sure that the monarchy now does remain relevant, connectable and relatable. And this is apparently now one of the big sort of, shall we say, thorny topics that's been discussed up on their holidays in Balmoral. You see, His Majesty the King, although is very forward in many respects, thinks that you still have to have an air of mystique, and there's a point exactly as to where you draw a line under that. On the converse side of it, there's another problem: security. Now, if you recall a little while back, Catherine was recently on a walkabout, remember? And this particular individual grabbed Catherine by the hair to pull her in for a selfie. And for a very split second, you could see that Catherine was rather nervous. This was discussed at great length after the visit. And this is part of the battle, you see, because both William and Catherine believe that the only way forward is to, you know, welcome the selfie generation, the people that want to video everything, touch you, sort of feel you, get pictures with you. Of course, Her Majesty the Queen, alongside Princess Royal Princess Anne, have no truck with that. Apparently, Princess Anne really just doesn't understand why people whip out phones and thinks, why don't they live in the moment? I'm right here, right now. But of course, it's a totally different generation. As I say, this is an ongoing battle for William and Catherine. You see, not only is it a security risk, it's one that could have been catastrophic for the Princess of Wales. Perhaps that individual had had a knife. Perhaps she wouldn't let go. You know, all manner of things could have taken effect. And as you could see, the security, although very tight, wasn't necessarily prepared for the speed of which this particular individual brought Catherine closely to her. And this is now the worry moving forward. William and Catherine want to become relatable, want to do more of that, selfies and hugs and meeting and greets. But of course, in this very strange, difficult time, security has to be paramount. And that's one thing that the King is pushing forward. And perhaps he might just get his way when we look exactly as to how Her Majesty the Queen kept the enigma going for so long without the need of sort of touchy-feely throwing your arms around people to meet them. Her Majesty the Queen said that she had to be seen to be believed. The King, the Queen, and other senior courtiers still believe that's the case. They're not necessarily, albeit for security reasons also, buying into Catherine's new touchy-feely welcoming royal world. Truly, it's a developing story, and when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.